All right, everybody, we have a special interview here with Tom from SEEDSMAN. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Tom on. Tom, welcome. Thank you very much for joining me. How's it going for you?
Yeah, it's all good. Thanks, Curt. Yeah, absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Fantastic. So we also want to get to know a little bit about your story and SEEDSMAN, maybe why you've been involved with the GGC, and just some more context for the people in the competition. So I guess my first question for you is, how did you first get introduced to cannabis, maybe before you were in the business side of cannabis?
So, I mean, I kind of came across cannabis as a young guy, with friends, really mucking around and having fun, relaxing. And then actually, I came into the industry really through an interest well, as a smoker and an interest in the hemp side of things. And originally set out and worked for a hemp food company, having done a degree in food marketing.
Very cool. So hemp, was that legal at the time, obviously, and full cannabis
Yeah, so
wasn't?
it was legal as in the industrial hemp. So we were selling foods made from hemp seeds, so from the fiber and the protein in hemp seeds. So making kind of dairy-free ice creams, gluten-free pastas, healthy pestos, and the like. Really selling into that kind of health food market a little bit before actually that health food market really started booming. So it was a tough at the time because we were having to educate people about the real excellent benefits of eating hemp seeds and products made from them.
Very cool. So is that something that you still incorporate into your diet to this day?
I not as much as I used to. That suddenly, my interest in seeds now is very much focused on cannabinoid production and terpene production and the like. But yeah, I mean, from time to time, I get myself hemp seed oil, and this kind of time of year. Actually, I'm in the UK, summertime. It's great. Hemp seed oil, kind of used in salad dressing and the like. It's just really good, nutritious, and really good for you, healthy and tasty.
Yeah, very good. I use some hemp oil in my hair to make sure it's still healthy. But
It's so versatile. It's really good on your skin, actually, as well. If you ever get sunburnt and things, it can be really good for that too. It's got so many different uses.
I've got quite the experience with sunburns, as you can probably imagine, with the fair skin and the red hair. So I guess you started off as an employee in that side of the business, but you made that leap eventually into entrepreneurship. So what kind of led you to start an actual business of your own there?
Well, I was very lucky, I have to say. It was kind of slight nepotism. My cousin had a business that was producing hemp foods and that I worked for, and did a study on them for my university. That business, sadly, he ended up selling it as it wasn't profitable, and it was actually his idea to start Seedsman. He came up with the name. He put the investment in. I ran it, and eventually he decided he didn't want to be in it. So I then took it on and built it into what it is now. But he was very much fundamental to the start, as it was completely his idea and his initial contacts. But then I took it on. So yeah, I had a lucky foot in, which I'm hugely grateful for. And actually now my cousin's son works as part of our team. He was, I think, barely even born at the time. We've been going 21 years, and he's now 21 and working for us. And he's a really highly valued member of the team.
There you go, returning the favor. I mean, I think every entrepreneur gets some luck across the way. H is obviously the driver of our business. So I crossed paths with him in university and actually sold him a little bit of weed. Was
There
our
we go.
first interaction. And then all of a sudden he's calling me up and said he'd start this business and all that. So yeah, 21 years, that's a phenomenal run, and obviously still the market leader. So that's fantastic. On that note, what are some of the changes you've seen from when you first started till now? Obviously, legalization's a big change. Have you noticed different trends as it's
Yeah.
become more front and center?
So legalization is obviously a big change. We're a business coming out of a legacy model where we've been very creative over the years to keep our business going. And now we are working, importing, exporting with kind of plant health paperwork and all of these things that wasn't always possible. And then in terms of trends is, the production countries. When we started, most of the seeds we were buying were produced in Holland. That then moved to Switzerland for a while because of a legal loophole that was being used there, and then eventually, seed production in Europe then moved to Spain, where the kind of seed production was tolerated. Now, though, we're seeing seed production in Colombia, in the US, in multiple different areas, and I think that's been a big change. A lot of the genetics have originated in California. Well, not originated. They originated in further flung parts of the world, but then were taken to California, and then from there to Amsterdam and other places, or directly to Amsterdam. But now we're definitely getting a lot more interest in the US genetics. And actually, we're finding that because of the legal climate in the US, people are able to do things legitimately in their state on bigger scale legally, which means a lot of the time pheno hunting, quality, and things like that can really be optimized because you're not hiding away, which then limits numbers of pheno hunts and the like. So we're increasingly working with US suppliers.
Yeah, it's fantastic that it's moving that way. Obviously the most talented people are going to be the ones migrating from the legacy market. So it's great to see that you've been able to make that jump. I know a lot of companies kind of stuck in that old model where they have to call it tomatoes and teach you how to grow tomatoes and all that stuff.
It's a continual process. We're not breeders, but we work with breeders. So for us, some of the compliance stuff is a little bit easier because we're not on the production side. But I wouldn't say we're entirely there yet. We do see potential for the cannabis industry to go like other plants and, plant registrations, plant breeders' rights and things like that, which are all hurdles, challenges, opportunities that we're constantly reviewing to make sure that we can keep our business going and that we can keep selling good quality products to our customers.
Very cool. So you have a lot of different regions now producing seeds and obviously different landscapes based on the legality of it. What are some of the more memorable releases, Seedsman's been a part of, maybe with a new country coming into the mix or a particular strain that was just very popular?
So we're very proud, and we do bang on about it quite a lot, is we were one of the very first companies to start really commercializing auto flowering genetics. This variety called Lowrider that was bred by the Joint Doctor in Canada, and we worked with some other distributors in Italy at the time to really market the product, to write articles, to get it in forums, to get people trialing it. And that was a real revolution at the time. There was nothing quite like it. I think it's probably been the biggest change in cannabis genetics we've seen. We then, we love innovation. We did well out of that. It was interesting. It was fun. We were one of the first to start selling CBD genetics and then other minor cannabinoids over the years. But again, because we're not producing ourselves, we're able to find products, work with breeders who don't necessarily have marketing backgrounds, and really help them find the right clients for their varieties and help them see all the commercial possibilities, really. And then, otherwise we've been kind of first in a few different places doing things properly. I think the first seed company in South Africa to have a license to import seeds and to be selling legitimately there. And one of the first seed banks in the UK as well. Definitely not the first, but we are one of the first, which we're happy with that position, and we always learn from others, which is and try and teach others as well. That's kind of one of the ethoses of our business.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've really enjoyed working with you guys on the GGC especially, and hopefully we can continue to develop that as well. And it's such an amazing industry as far as the collaboration goes. We've found.
Yeah, absolutely. We've really enjoyed being a part of this process with all of the businesses involved, and just see further how we can look at opportunities together. We're exploring at the moment further to selling seeds and selling grow products as well. And I know that all the BudTrainer products are very high up on our list of products that we're keen to take on. We've had to hold back on that in the past due to credit card providers and the like not being happy with us selling seeds and other products side by side, but these kind of hurdles are being removed at the moment. So we're really excited to start seeing what we can sell next alongside the seeds. Again, really encouraging our clients to get the very best products to get the best results from their crops.
Switching over to our products a little bit, what is your opinion on plant training and stuff like that?
I love it. I mean, we're big fans and work closely with the Northern Scrogger, and we know so many of our clients now who follow his guidance, and have real fun with it, and get some really good, awesome results. I think your products combined with the kind of tuition of people like Northern Scrogger is really exciting, and I think it's yeah, I think people's techniques, especially as the market legalizes, there's a lot of people coming on that haven't been growing before, and now there are so many exciting techniques like scrogging and use of your kind of products that are so accessible, which I think is great and exciting. And I know lots of people who love using the BudTrainer products.
Awesome. Yeah, no, the Northern Scrogger does it like nobody else. It's shocking when you first come across his content. You see that he's got this massive 4 foot by 4 foot canopy, and it's all one plant. So obviously showcases the versatility and strength of your genetics as well, to take on that stress.
Yeah, and I think a lot of newcomers who come and see that canopy, often, like you say, they don't necessarily know that it's one plant, and they're all quite startled and want to get involved when they realize it is, if they've got the right space and the right things. And obviously, it's not just indoors. You can do that. You can do that outdoors with really good success as well.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Obviously, not a technique that would maybe work on a commercial level, because obviously there's a lot more hands-on time. But for the cultivator who's more craft or just doing it for their own hobby, I mean, it's more time spent on your garden, and it's very fun, and it does increase the yield too.
Yeah, exactly, and can be a really good use of space if you're doing it right. But it's ideal for our target market that are primarily domestic cultivators.
Very cool. So, along the lines of those growers, what are some of the latest trends you're seeing? Are growers still opting for like the high THC, or are terpenes more important? Because I know the average consumer is like, "Hey, give me the 30% THC," but that's not how a home grower thinks
There is
necessarily.
definitely the interest still in high THC, and we actually don't find that just in the home grow market. We have some activities in the commercial medical market as well, and it's still very much, all the medical growers want very high THC, which we find quite ironic, as the British press in particular has always written about how bad THC is for you, yet they're very pro medical cannabis, which I don't think they quite understand exactly what medical cannabis is potentially. But
Yeah.
yeah, we have different segments, and we're learning more and more about our clients. But there's definitely a large amount that are increasingly looking at terpenes and how that plays. And a lot of the time, the terpene effect can make it something very potent and throw out different different factors. But then also, we're now starting to look at varieties that grow better in different climates outside, so faster varieties with mold resistance, and we're expecting to have some real improvements in those areas, with all the improved scientific breeding techniques that are now able to be used increasingly in a legal or more legal market.
Yeah, no, I mean, for a beginner and even, advanced growers, getting rid of some of those potential errors that can harm your crop, that can only help, your
And
success. So, fantastic work there. And back to the terpenes. I mean, I think H mentioned a study to me where, in a blind test, users actually rated the weed that they thought smelt the best, as the most potent, or at least most enjoyable. So, for those high THCers watching out there, maybe try something that sparks your, I don't want to say taste buds, but your sense of smell for sure.
yeah, exactly. Definitely a sense of smell, and yeah, try different things as well. Don't just get caught up in the high THC trap. I think probably there are so many decent varieties out there now producing some really excellent terpene profiles and levels.
Fantastic. And then just, yeah, one more question to wrap up here. What are you excited about for the cannabis space in the next, I mean, pick your timeline, 5 years, 1 year, 6 months.
I mean, I'll go back. We're big fans of outdoor cultivation, and I think the advancements that are going on in the breeding world in that respect. We work with some of the breeders we work with working inside universities and the like, and they've worked on other crops before. One, for example, has been working on soya for many years, and the improvements they make on soya with each improvement are so small because they've been doing it consistently over the last 50, 60, 100 years or so. With cannabis, you know, the scientific breeding hasn't been available really, molecular breeding to home breeders and the like. So there are incremental steps that can be improved very quickly in breeding and in improving varieties. And I think that's going to be really exciting. Mold resistance and the like are for outdoor growers are going to be super interesting. I think there'll be improvements, continued improvements to taste, flavor, and terpenes as well. Yeah, I think we're going to see some really exciting varieties coming out of these molecular breeding houses effectively in the next 3, 4, 5, 10 years. And we're really excited by that as people that like, you know, marketing these products and making sure our clients have good quality products that are going to grow well and very low risk of any failure.
Yeah, I guess that could be one of the only benefits of the prohibition for this long is that we haven't been able to dive into the science, and now that it is, we're the ones who get to do it and follow along that. And yeah, I think advancements in what you're speaking of is very important. I mean, even with consistency between two seeds of the same genetic, like I always order the White Widow from you guys, and what I love about that is every time I grow it, it's very consistent. My experience with that yield is always somewhat the same.
And you're absolutely right. Not all of the varieties are consistent. What we try and do is give the best information on consistency. And not all home growers want consistency. Some of them like having different phenotypes being thrown, but a lot of them don't. And I think for us as a seller, really is giving the good information on those varieties to identify which ones, you know, are throwing different phenotypes, what those are likely to be, and those other ones that are more stable and consistent, you know, better potential for commercial grows and the like. But there will be massive improvements to stability and consistency as well as those breeding programs evolve and improve. And actually, a lot of the people we speak to believe that although clones are used widely in the more kind of industrial and commercial cannabis growing, that actually with improvements to seed production and consistency and stability, you shouldn't actually need those going forward. You should be able to get seeds that are so stable and consistent that actually they'll be preferable to clones in the future.
Very exciting. I'm looking forward to that because yeah, when I like, you know, the effects of a strain, I want to get that exact same feeling every time, and it can be a little bit disappointing if you do get that variety, but definitely some strains better than others in that sense.
Yeah, and that comes slightly out of the unregulated nature of the industry, which sometimes is great and other times is a letdown. But yeah, the scary thing is with some of the regulations that'll come in, it will freeze people out of the market. So we want, you know, those regulations to come in made by sensible individuals, which isn't always the case. Regulations come in.
Exactly. Yeah. No.
But consistency is key. There are so many different seed banks selling the same varieties that do have big differences between them, and that can be quite confusing.
Very true. Very true. Well, thank you very much for joining me for this. Is there anything else you want to mention where we can find you? I know Seedsman's very active on Instagram and socials.
Yeah, so seedsman.com is obviously our website. We're Seedsman Genetics on Instagram. If anyone needs me directly, I'm Tom_Seedsman, and always happy to talk with people, growers, anyone with questions, order problems. I am the founder and CEO and still love being involved with our customers and people that are interested in our seeds. So please do ping over any questions.
Fantastic. All right, guys, go do that, and I will see you back.
Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out BudTrainer.com for the best training gear, also available on Amazon.